everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do something a little bit different and I want to show you my nerdy side. Today I'm going to talk about my favorite reads as of recently. I'm also going to show two books at the end that I still need to read. Hopefully this will give you some inspiration if you are a bookworm like me and you are thinking of reading a book, you're not sure what to read. Hopefully this will give you some help in choosing a new book. So if you want to see all of the books that I recommend for today, just keep on watching. I'm going to talk about these books in the order that I read them in. The first book I read is a book by Lucy Diamond. This is The House of New Beginnings. It is about 4 women who live in a block of flats in Brighton. The theme of this book, I think, is loneliness. I just really enjoyed how all of these women, how they met in kind of strange ways, and I feel like if you're going through a time of loneliness, then this will be the book for you, just to encourage you to reach out and meet new people. I think I will actually read this book again. The next book is by Laura Marshall. It's called Friend Request. This is the first murder mystery book that I've ever read, and let me tell you, I really enjoyed it and I feel like I want to read more books in this genre. Just reading the cover just makes you think, oh, what's gonna happen? Maria wants to be friends, but Maria is dead, isn't she? So it's basically about a girl and she got a friend request on Facebook. But the friend request was a little bit strange because the girl she got the request from has already died. So yeah, it's just a really good read, some really intense moments, but I feel like if you're a beginner reader of murder mysteries, then this will be the book for you because it's not that intense. I really enjoyed this book a lot. This book is by Lisa Genova and it's called Left Neglected. Now this book is a little bit more of a serious kind of read, but I feel like the way that the author has written this book has made it quite light-hearted as well, and there were lots of little moments in the book where I kind of giggled, and there were so many heartwarming moments in this book where I just felt so much for this main character in this book. This is basically about a woman who was in a car accident. She was driving to work and she was texting on her phone, or I think she was sending an email, and the next moment she was in a car accident. And she has a condition which is called left neglect. I actually studied about this condition when I was at varsity because we did this in psychology, and it's basically your brain kind of neglects the whole left part of your body, so you don't even know or realize that you have a left side and a left of anything. You don't know what left means. Such a inspirational read. It showed me that sometimes things happen in your life that are quite dramatic and it kind of changes the course of your life, and this was quite a drastic change for this character, but yeah, the way she handled it was just really inspirational. Really good read. Now, this book I read in 3 days flat. Like, I was quite impressed with myself, but I think it was just such an easy read. This is by Carrie Hope Fletcher and it is called All That She Can See. Immediately when I saw this book in the shop, I was attracted to this cover. I really like this cover because it has little baking things like surrounding. There's like a whisk and a rolling pin and so on. and a little pie at the bottom. But then I looked close and I saw little tarot cards, and I'm like, well, I thought it was tarot cards, I wasn't sure, but anyway. And then I was really intrigued. I was like wondering, what is this book about? So let me just read the back for you, because this is kind of a strange book, but so good. So, Cherry has a hidden talent. She can see things other people can't. And she decided a long time ago to use this skill to help others. As far as the rest of the town is concerned, she's simply the kind-hearted young woman who runs the local bakery. But in private, she uses her gift to add something special to her cakes, so that after just one mouthful, the townspeople start to feel better about their lives. They don't know why they're drawn to Cherry's bakery, but just know that they're safe there. And that's how Cherry likes it. She can help them in secret, and no one will ever need to know the truth behind her gift. So Cherry puts something inside of her cakes that makes people feel good. First, when I read the cover in the bookstore, I thought, is she putting drugs in her cakes? Anyway, she's not. But it was so interesting, and I felt like halfway through the book, it turned towards a whole different genre. I thought it was going towards more of a romantic kind of vibe. And then halfway through the book, I felt it became a little bit sci-fi-ish. And I really enjoyed it. It was so good, so gripping. I will read this again because it just made you think so much, and it was so intriguing, very intriguing. The last book that I read is by Julia Claiborne Johnson, and it's called Be Frank With Me. For one boy, fitting in means standing out. Oh my goodness, this book. It was so relevant to my life because I went to an autistic seminar about 3 weeks ago. I read this book just before I went to the seminar. So this is about a boy. They don't mention that he's autistic or has Asperger's throughout the book. They don't even mention his diagnosis at all, which I kind of loved because it just showed you that some kids are just a little bit quirky and make life a little bit more interesting. There are so many cute little moments where you just kind of have to smile about the situation. My camera just stopped recording, so I hope this looks the same. Anyway, so this is about a mom and her son living in quite an isolated area in a mansion. She was a writer and she became quite famous overnight, and she wanted to isolate herself from people because it was just getting too much. And her little boy has autism or Asperger's. Like I've said, it's not, they don't say the diagnosis in the book. And then Alice goes and kind of au pairs Frank while his mother is writing a new book. The relationship that forms between Alice and Frank is just so sweet. It's quite a quick read, which makes it quite nice if you want to read something quite fast. Like, you can read that in a weekend. Highly recommend it. So those were all of the books that I read quite recently. I have 2 more books that I want to mention that I want to read next. So this one is by Julie Cohen and it's called Falling. This is about 3 generations of women. I think it's a mom, a grandmother, a mother and a daughter. 3 women whose lives are falling apart, but one summer's day, a single dramatic moment will force their secret into the open. Can they save each other from falling? And then this one is by Felicity Everett, The People at Number 9. This looks like a little bit of a twisted story. kind of seems like it's a story about keeping up with the Joneses or something like that. Seems like an interesting read as well. So these are the 2 new books that I'll be reading next. One of my favorite things to do is to go into bargain books and really take my time, read the backs of the books, and sometimes I even sit on the floor in the bookstore and just enjoy the time selecting the books. And it's just such a nice thing to do, and it soothes my soul. I feel like it really, like, it does something for me, sitting in a bookstore, smelling the books, choosing your books. There's something very special about that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.